Hello, I'm TC. Today I will introduce you guys to a monster fantasy movie called Clash of the Titans. This story bases on the Greek myth of Perseus, the greatest Greek hero and slayer of monsters before the days of Heracles. The Titans were powerful, but their reign was ended by their sons, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. Zeus convinced his brother Hades to create a beast so strong it could defeat their parents. Then, Zeus became king of the heavens, Poseidon, king of the seas. And Hades, tricked by Zeus, was left to rule the underworld in darkness and misery. Therefore, Hades always wants to overthrow him because of envy. The gods created the mortals, whose worship maintained the gods' immortality. Over time, however, the mortals began to blaspheme and defy their creators. A king decided to command the armies against gods, but failed and were completely destroyed. To punish him, Zeus impersonated Acrisius and impregnated his wife, Queen Danae. Acrisius, driven mad with rage, orders the execution of Danae and the newborn baby and casts them into the sea in a coffin. As punishment for his continued defiance, Zeus also strikes Acrisius with lightning, transforming him into a monster. When the chest was found, the mortal queen was dead. Thereafter, Perseus is found and raised by the fisherman Spyros and his wife Marmara. 20 years have passed, and Perseus now becomes a muscular, handsome guy. When his family is about to set sail, they witness some soldiers from the city of Argos destroy the statue of Zeus, declaring war on the gods. The Furies are then unleashed and slaughter the soldiers. Hades appears and destroys the family's fishing vessel. As a result, Spyros and his family drown, with Perseus as the only survivor. Found by another group of soldiers, Perseus is brought before King Cepheus and Queen Cassiopeia. When Cassiopeia begins boasting of her daughter named Princess Andromeda to the gods. The revelry is interrupted by Hades, who exposes Perseus' lineage to Zeus and rapidly ages Cassiopeia. He threatens to unleash his monster, the Kraken, against Argos unless Andromeda is offered as a sacrifice. Before leaving, he reveals that Perseus is a demigod. When Perseus is trapped in the prison, he meets Io, a mysterious woman cursed with immortality, who confirms his origin. She has watched over Perseus his entire life, beginning with watching from ashore as his adoptive parents rescue him from the floating coffin to the present. She always protects him, as he is prophesied to be the only one able to stand up to the gods. A desperate Cepheus asks Perseus to lead the Kingsguard to visit the Stygian witches in order to discover a way to kill the Kraken. Because of wishing to avenge the death of his family, Perseus accepts. Perseus and the guards head off on their quest, joined by Ottoman monster hunters, Ozil and Kuchik. Hades, in hopes of stopping Perseus, finds Acrisius, now known as Calibos. He grants him superhuman abilities in exchange for Calibos assuring Perseus will die before he reaches the witches. Zeus is convinced by Apollo to give Perseus a chance and presents him with an enchanted sword forged on Mount Olympus and a winged horse named Pegasus. The band gives chase only to be attacked by Scorpio Chs summoned by Calibos' blood. Although they manage to kill some of them, they are ultimately surrounded by even larger scorpions. Until they are saved by the Jinn, a band of Arabic desert sorcerers led by Sheikh Suleiman. The Jinn, also wishing for the gods' defeat, lends their aid to Perseus and his hand. The group arrives at the lair of the Stygian witches, and learns from them that the only possibility for killing the Kraken is with the head of a Gorgon, Medusa, who is residing in a temple in the underworld. Medusa is able to turn any living creature into stone by making eye contact, and thus capturing her head is essential for battling the Kraken. As they prepare to head into the underworld, Perseus is approached by Apollo, who gives him a golden drachma, which is a fare for Charon, the ferryman of the underworld. Perseus, Io, Suleiman, Draco, and his remaining men Solon, Eusebios, and Ixes arrive at the underworld, and the men enter Medusa's lair while Io remains outside, unable to enter. Medusa kills Solon, who was shot and falls into the fire, Eusebios, and Ixes, who have turned to stone, and wounds the shot Draco. Suleiman and Draco wound Medusa and turn to stone, making the ultimate sacrifice. The badly wounded Medusa is beheaded by Perseus, who takes her head. As he is leaving the temple, he witnesses Calibos creep up behind and murder Io. Perseus and Calibos engage in mortal combat, with Calibos having the upper hand and disarming Perseus. Finally coming to terms with who he is, Perseus picks up the Olympian sword and pierces Calibos through the heart, turning him back into Acrisius in human form, restoring him to sanity and humility for one last moment. After saying his goodbyes to the dying Io, who urges him forward to save Andromeda and Argos before she dissolves into an ethereal vapor, Perseus mounts Pegasus and hastens back to Argos. In the meantime, Zeus has ordered the Kraken's release. The cult of Hades in Argos invade the palace and seize Andromeda to sacrifice her to the Kraken. Before the Kraken is able to eat Andromeda, Perseus races to open the bag, unveil the head of Medusa, and face it to the Kraken. It makes eye contact with Medusa and slowly turns into stone. The massive statue cracks and the falling debris kills Procopion and Cepheus, while Andromeda falls into the sea. Hades appears to confront Perseus. Perseus in defiance raises his sword to the heavens and, calling upon Zeus, throws his sword at Hades. A lightning bolt engulfs the sword and banishes Hades to the underworld once more. After defeating the Kraken and Hades, Andromeda falls into the sea and Perseus dives in to save her. When he reaches her, he embraces her with a passionate kiss, indicating that he fell in love with her, and she with him. After reaching the shore and regaining consciousness, Andromeda asks Perseus if he will stay. And he says there is someone he needs to talk to, before kissing her again, indicating that he will come back. Getting on Pegasus, he flies to Mount Olympus where he confronts Zeus, stating that he does not wish to be one of them and that any conflict between them has just started. After slamming his sword into the god's map and shattering the models of every living person, he leaves and is seen flying on Pegasus over the sea, presumably back to Argos. Clash of the Titans has received generally negative reviews from critics, but received praise for its visual effects. See you next time.